Welcome to We're Talking Bears, the show where uncle, nephew, and son bring you the latest in the Chicago Bears experience. I'm Uncle.
I'm nephew.
Son's
We're
missing
talking
again.
Bears. Of
The
course he
son
is.
ain't out.
He's dreaming Bears.
He's dreaming Bears. We're talking Bears. Man,
Absolutely.
man. Wild and crazy offseason. Wild and crazy offseason. Wow. There's so much going on. Rookie minicamp happened. OTAs got started. Huge draft. Huge free agency. We spent most of our money. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good. Did you hear we just 2 year extension for Joe Tooney? So that's
2 year
nice.
extension. That is nice because when you give away a pick, you gotta extend that guy. You can't give away a pick for 1 year. I mean, we did with Keenan Allen, and that was okay. But you can't make a habit of that. That's expensive. That's
I
an
agree.
expensive way to add a guy.
I agree.
So this is good, and we need some consistency up front. Um, what about let's going through the offensive line? What about the rookie Ozzie?
Man, been hearing good things. They actually were talking to Joe Tooney about him, and he had a lot of high praise for him as well. He had a lot of high praise for him as well.
Well, he's huge. He's 6'8",
Right.
which is an advantage, but not a perfect advantage because a defensive end is going to bend and try to get low around your hands. So when you're that tall, it's not that hard to get low around
Right.
a 6'8" guy's hands.
Right.
At the same time, if he's got good feet, they say he's quick, he's got good feet and leverage. Uh, when you try to get back around and straighten back up and to get on that quarterback, if he's got both hands on you, you're probably in trouble.
Right.
It'll take a Khalil Mack effort to come back up and push through the guy.
Right.
If he makes it around the corner with you. Really long arms, 6'8" guy, huge arms. So you really have to go way around the edge. With the offensive middle that we bought with the two guards, Tooney, uh, uh, and
John,
and
John
and the
Johnson,
center.
John Jackson, yeah.
Yep, Jonah,
Gardner.
those guys. There should be that rookie left tackle if he ends up starting in it. He very well may just because of Braxton's injury. He's just really got to protect the Y, man.
Right.
He can almost ignore to the right of him, right? Like you watch it. Hey, I ain't worried about it. I ain't worried about it. I'm covering the left, and I'm sure they'll tell him that. Look, guy 3-time All Pro, dude. He's not getting through my gap. Don't sweat
Right.
it.
Right.
Don't sweat it. He's
Do
not
your
getting through
job.
my gap.
Right.
You just make sure nobody beats you around the edge and kills our quarterback.
Right.
Don't be standing there trying to protect my gap.
Right.
If I'm there, that's what I'm telling him. A rook, just handle everything to the left. All
Right.
right. If it's coming to the right, I got it. I
I
got it.
got it. Right.
It's like
Right.
it's 3 Pro Bowlers up front. If we can't handle it, it's a problem.
Big problem. Big
If
problem.
we can't handle it, you can't handle it.
Right. Right. Right.
That's kind of how I see it. So I like the fact that for the next 3 years, we very well can have the same starting offensive line, and it should work. We got 3 guys that have been to the Pro Bowlers, and 1 guy that's a multi-time All Pro.
Right.
Let's
Right.
rock. And
Yeah.
and Tooney's actually had to do the left tackle job when Kansas City got in trouble and lost their left tackles. So even more than just having the experience of being an All Pro at guard, he's done the left tackle job. He knows how the guys are going to beat you across the NFL.
Right.
And so he can coach that rook up. I want to see the rook out there. He's a 2nd-round pick, a high 2nd-rounder. That's really close. He should be able to start. You're a high 2nd-rounder. You should be able to start.
Right.
That's the whole point of taking you as a high 2nd-rounder.
Right.
That you literally are a day one starter. Just like Wright. Wright was a day one starter as a first rounder.
Right.
This guy, high second rounder, day one starter. Get him out there. You got the perfect excuse. You don't have to insult Braxton. Get him out there. Look, if he's equal, if he's 95% of what Braxton gives us as a day one starter, we should never look back.
I agree.
Never look back. That's what I want to see. I want to see Ozzie, 95% of Brax on the first snap. Never look back. Like, hey, if you guys are pretty much equal and you got a 4-year vet and a rookie, I'm rolling with the rookie.
Right. All day long. All day long.
And they are working with Brax. They've told him gain 10, 15 pounds to be able to anchor better. And they're working with him diet, exercise to give him more strength to be able to anchor better. That's fantastic. I'm not saying throw the guy away because we know that's the number one problem, him getting rolled.
Right.
Him losing to it's been all his career. This kid, Ozzie, it just didn't, with pads off, just pushing on guys. He doesn't look like you can move him too easy.
Right.
Everything I've seen, just the little clips coming out of camp. Boy, look boss. First of all, he doesn't really look 6'8", so he's not that much taller than everybody else. So maybe he's 6'7" and a quarter.
The NBA
right?
heights from the 90s.
Exactly. So nonetheless, he doesn't have skinny hips and skinny legs. He's thick all the way up and down. So which is good. Let him, 300 pounds a man, 6'8", he should be able to move some people.
Right.
And if he's got bend, he's young, he should be able to get down and get. Now, you don't want to give him too low, but get low enough to drive somebody. And I think you don't want a 6'8", 300+ pound guy getting a running start coming around the corner.
I definitely don't.
Yeah, so I love it. I love it. I love what's happening with the line. I'm gonna miss Keenan Allen, but the rookie we stole again. This guy, high second round pick, should have been a first rounder.
Yep.
Everybody says that. So, I like him, and he has to win the slot job. It's not a given. There are pros that we've hired in the offseason to fight for that job. I mean, Rome is obviously our number 2. He's earned it. DJ is our number 1. He's earned it, right? Everybody else, it's a fight. It's a fight. There's no jobs given out. And coming out of training camp, our 7th round running back, he's looking good. Our 7th round running back coming out of training camp is looking real good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
What do you think about the roster?
Man, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited about what I'm hearing from Ben Johnson, or what they're saying about Ben Johnson and how he's on them. How he's been on them in training camp, and just the tone he's setting for the team as far as his expectations and how he's pushing guys. Man, I'm excited to see that. No mediocrity. We're not accepting what we've seen in the past, and they're saying he's really been he's just been pushing the intensity. You get what I'm saying? The intensity and getting out there and working hard, and everybody doing their job. So I'm excited to see what he can get out of these guys as far as maximizing their potential and getting guys to play ball like we know they can. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I've definitely we did the draft and talked about the draft. I was excited about the guys we picked up. Still waiting. I'm still super interested to see our number 1 pick, the first round pick that we had, the tight end Loveland. I'm excited to see how he'll look. I'm excited to see how they'll work him and Cole Kmet together, or how they'll run it. Man, there's just so many things I'm looking forward to, and I'm excited that Ben Johnson seems to be delivering and getting the right attitude. Just pushing that and just having the right attitude out of guys, and just getting the right people in there. Because I feel like it all starts from the coach. Of course, the guys got to go on the field and do it, but it all starts with the coach. And just the message he's pushing and the way you can get the guys to play for you. And so far, it seems like they're all buying into what Ben Johnson's talking.
Yeah, football's a tough game, and you have to start out with a bit of an attitude. You can be a positive dude. You can be a guy with a great outlook, but you got to have a little bit of toughness, a lot of bit of toughness. It's a
Right.
tough game.
Right.
It's like there's no difference between MMA, martial arts, boxing. You can't come in there letting the other guy punch you in the face,
Right.
right? You got to sit back and go, hey, look, three things. Number one, you can't hurt me. Number two, I can't hurt you. Number three, be careful what's about to happen.
Right.
Right. So, I like him setting a tough tone,
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
now. Set the tough tone now, get the competitive juices flowing, get people fired up and understanding you're serious. Then you could coach.
Right.
You sit back and coach later. Hey, now I do have a fear.
What's that?
I'm sorry, I have a fear. So you don't mind if I go for a little fear.
Man, look, we're the Bears. If we didn't have fears, I don't know what we have.
Well, they're talking about changing or that they have changed Caleb's footwork a little bit, changing how he's doing some things. And there's a lot of talk that he's not throwing the ball great with these changes. My fear is this reminds me of 3 years ago when a new coaching staff came in and a new OC came in and changed how Justin Fields did what he did. And Justin was never as good as he was the first year throwing the ball. I just have to put it out there and get it out there that hey, there's a danger. Caleb is a good quarterback. He proved that. He set our rookie record for 100 years plus of our franchise and beat out guys like Jim McMahon to do it. Who, from a success standpoint, was absolutely our best quarterback, right? And you sit back and you know what? Adjustments are okay. Major changes, I don't know because you don't know how that's going to work out.
Right.
Do you set the guy back if he's taking a million snaps doing it his way, and now you're starting and he's taking 0 snaps doing it your way. We saw that with Justin. It didn't work out.
And you know what?
It
I
worked out
get, I
poorly.
understand. I understand the fear, but I'll say I look at it this way: it's early. You've got new coaches in there, so of course they're gonna want to promote the things that they want to see and things that they think will be beneficial. So I look at it like this: hey, I'm gonna push you. You get what I'm saying, to figure this out. I think this will be a better way of doing things. If it doesn't work, I mean, in my mind, you can always do things the way you know how to do them. But I feel like it is okay when you have somebody who's a number 1 overall pick and it is scheduled to be your franchise quarterback. It's okay to challenge him a little bit and make things tough for him, especially early on before we get to the season, before we get to the preseason. It's okay to, just push yourself. Maybe it's tough for you starting out, but maybe you pick it up. Maybe you start to get it down a little bit better. But I completely understand where you're coming from. But I feel like if there's any time to do it, that the time is now. When you first get in here, hit the ground running. Let's work on some things and see if you can add this to your repertoire in a sense.
I accept that criticism of that fear. I'm just, hey, you know what? I'm trying not to live in the past.
Yeah, I get it. Look, I get it. We're Bears fans, and we've seen disasters. We've seen disasters.
The
And
past
so
looms heavy.
yeah, and I can't blame you for the fear. My fear is the same, but it's just in a general sense of we went and paid these coaches, we went and made these changes, and it just doesn't work out. So I feel like with any time when you give somebody a job, when you put somebody on a job, You gotta allow them to do their thing. I'm gonna allow you to do what I hired you to do. The worst thing that can happen is we find out we made the wrong choice again. That's what I'm afraid of. That's my fear. But so
And
far, I feel like I'm confident.
I don't think we made the wrong choice in coaches. We absolutely took the best coach out there. Period. We took the best coach out there, not the wrong decision, right? But maybe, and I'm not saying we have to do it, but just like the Rams, who had Jared Goff, said, "Look, we're going to go all in on Stafford, and if you give me Stafford, we're going to win a Super Bowl," and it happened, right? So, if we go all in on Johnson and we don't get to the top of the mountain, we might have to make a change. And I'm not. Again, I was not a Caleb fan, but I am now. I like what I saw last year. I like the tenacity. I like the coming back in Green Bay with 2 game-winning drives, potentially 3, almost
Right,
2 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter against Green Bay and Lambeau. You
right.
got to win Bears' hearts like that. You won us with that type of behavior. Just last game of the year, still last seconds of the last game, 40 seconds left. You still haven't given up on the season. You still haven't given up on this team.
Right.
I gotta love that. I respect that 100%.
Yeah.
Being able to play 17 games, getting sacked over 65 times. I think it was 68, something like
It's
that.
insane. That's insane.
Insane. And still, last game, last second, still playing tough. And not being down to injury, just physically tough. Man, I love to see Bajan out there too, but I don't want to see him because Caleb's hurt. I want to see him because we're up by 40.
Right, right.
Right.
There you
Go
go.
have some fun. We're up by 40. You get the fourth quarter. It's
Right.
40. It's 45-3 in the third. Bajan, you get the fourth.
Right.
Go to work. I'm dreaming, but hey, that's what 85 was like.
Yeah. And you know what? I get you, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm afraid of that. And you say when you give the golf Stafford comparison, and I'm afraid of that. I believe in Caleb. I'm just hoping it all comes together with this coaching staff, with everybody that we've been bringing in. I'm hoping we got it right. And whether you say we got it right at coaching or wherever, I feel like it ain't right until it works. It ain't right until it works. So I'm with you all day long. I'm excited for Ben Johnson to be here, and I really am confident he can get the best out of the guys that we've got. I feel like they've been diligent about focusing on the things that we need. Specifically the O-line, for sure. We've seen how they've attacked that. So it seems like they're invested, and I believe that Ben Johnson is our guy. But I want to believe that he's our guy with Caleb, and I want to believe that he's able to get the guys that we have to play at a high level, and he can win with the guys we've got.
Hey, honestly, if you can't win with the guys we've got, you got a problem. Okay, I'm not saying we have the Super Bowl champion team on our roster, but we should be in the playoffs. We got a competitive roster, man. We got an offensive line. We've got a defensive line. We got even better skill positions on offense. We've got a better linebacker core. We have a phenomenal defensive backfield.
Yeah.
Man, we got it in spades, man. We could sit back and even complain about running back, but remember, Kansas City, Pacheco, I'm pretty sure it was Pacheco. He was drafted in the 7th round. He got out there and took that starting job.
Yeah.
So don't sleep on a 7th round running back.
Right. Oh, I'm
And
not.
this boy, I'm telling you, the way this boy ran through the Big Ten, ran through Michigan, ran through Ohio State, the way he ran through Wisconsin, the way he ran through the Big Ten, it's no joke. This kid is no joke. Let's see wait till we see him in action. I want to see the kid in action.
Yeah,
and I like the kid from Howard. That we have at running back. But, he got injured. Yeah. What can you do? Hopefully he'll recover. Hopefully he's good this season. But, I'm excited about our draft picks top to bottom. I am. First round, dude, I'm excited. tight end, wide receiver, left tackle.
I'm ready to go. And I know
Let's
I say
go.
this. I know I say this every year. I make the predictions of us winning 12 games a season. But I really feel like now is the time for us to really put some things together. And I absolutely agree with you as far as us being a playoff team. If you look at this previous season in our division, we were competitive with everyone. I think maybe except for a game, maybe I forget who it was, but
Yeah,
we were.
Detroit beat the slot out of us one game.
That was it. Yeah. But I mean, I believe the first time we played everybody, we were in the games with them, and they were like right back to back behind each other. So and like we both know, that was with the inferior offensive line to the one we have now. So we've upgraded.
That was a gentle way to put it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm trying to be nice.
It was more than inferior.
I'm trying to be
Inferior
nice.
is an understatement.
Yeah.
They were a joke. It was
Amateur.
a joke.
Novice.
Amateur.
Yeah.
Man,
But yeah, we've upgraded.
almost 70 sacks in a season.
Yeah, and this year I'm looking for us to be that team that the division is looking at that they need to be worried about.
I'm sorry, I got to beat up on this a little bit. You're basically giving up 4 sacks a game, a sack every quarter, with a very agile, athletic quarterback who can throw on the run. He's getting sacked every single quarter. That's what it comes down to. 17 games. That's 34 sacks would be 1 sack a half. 68 sacks is a sack a quarter. And he definitely hit 68 during the Green Bay game. I don't know if they surpassed it, but that's a sack a quarter every game all year long. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I'm done with the rant. We shouldn't see that ever again.
No, you're right. Right.
That was a fiasco.
That was atrocious. That was atrocious. And you're right, man. But the attitude Caleb has is admirable, to say the least. And I think that type of leadership is I feel like what we need. And at times last year, I feel like it even appeared that other guys on the team weren't necessarily in that same mindset, and he still remained as a professional, and he went out there and did his job.
Tyreek Stevenson.
Even losing.
Tyreek Stevenson.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I like the kid, man. I'm with you that when we initially were when we traded Justin, I wasn't excited about it. But when he got here, seeing him play, I mean, I always knew he was skilled. I always knew he could be a great quarterback. But I was just all in on Justin. But now Caleb is our guy, and we got Ben Johnson. I think Caleb believes in Ben Johnson. And I think they're ready to rock, man. I just can't wait to see them actually get a chance to get on the field with all the guys out there and see how they can put it together.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Did you see Amon-Ra's quote? Amon-Ra St. Brown?
What did he say?
Oh, he was cursing up a storm talking about all the people we brought in the offseason. He was talking about these blanks. How much money do they have to spend? Everybody gets $30 million. He's like, are you freaking kidding me? He was going off because of all the people we brought in to shore up our offensive and defensive lines.
Right.
And I like to hear that. I like for our competitors in our division to be upset at the talent we bring in.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That's a good sign. When your competitors are like, dude, how are they doing this?
Great sign.
It's a great sign. And we have a young team locked in with a few vets that we need. And, man, we're ready to play ball. I can't wait to that first preseason game because I want to see everybody, man. I want to see the top of the roster to the bottom. I'm excited about this roster. I'm excited about the backups. Yeah. I want to see Bajan out there with our rookies, a rookie tight end and wide receiver out there, and a rookie running back. I want to see all those guys out there with Bajan and see what happens, right? Yeah. I want to see that stuff. I want to see Austin Booker and those guys that are, second-year players out there and see what they can give us. I want to see all that. I'm excited about the preseason. I usually am not. It's good to see, but it's not like My real excitement is about the regular season. I want to see how all these guys look
Yeah,
because this is one of the first years where most of the guys we drafted aren't starters
right,
because we actually have starters.
right. Yeah,
That's a different position.
yeah,
Before we were drafted hoping to get a starter out the 4th and 5th round. Let's
yeah.
be honest.
Not hoping. We're like, you're gonna start.
You're going to start.
Next
4th
guy.
round, get out there. 5th
Right,
round, get out there. We drafted you. Now, 1st round, we're like, all right, right now you're the backup. You got to
right,
win your job.
right.
2nd round, yeah, you're the backup. You got to win your job.
Yeah.
2nd round, you're great wide receiver. You're whatever 3rd, 4th, 5th on the depth chart. Win just the ability to get on the field.
And that's really what it's all about, man. When you really play ball for real, that's really what it's about. I can come in and know there's somebody ahead of me, but when you play ball for real, you're really thinking like, I'm trying to take your job. I want that starting spot, and I'm coming for it. And if I upstage you, I'm gonna get that spot. It's no disrespect to you, but I want that job. So
I want
it's
that
good.
job.
It's good to see that. It's good to see that. And we got some veterans in there who who got the right attitude, who want to actually help the young guys learn and coach them up and help them get to the next level. So that's really what the big factor is for me. It's like throwing somebody out there, they might be skilled, but when you're not able to learn from somebody who's been doing it, you might sometimes lose some of your momentum. You might lose some of your confidence just because you don't have an opportunity to get out there and learn from somebody that's actually been there and done that. You're out there just getting beat up on, and sometimes you just don't know how to win. But when you got guys in place that know how to win, who've won before, who've been doing this for a career, you got something to look at. You got some people to give you pointers and be like, "Hey, check this out. Do this. You're getting beat like this," and that's great. So I feel like that's the biggest part for me that I'm excited about.
A different world. And talking about Tooney, the guard that we got from Kansas City, not only does he have Super Bowl championship experience where he's won multiple, but also, they said, when he showed up for OTAs, his attitude and his work ethic was just like, dang, this guy's a superstar, and he's working like this. What do I need to be doing?
Right.
And that's that bar. That's that, what used to happen in the Jordan Bulls. Practice was harder than the games.
Yeah.
Those practice was tough, man. I don't know if you remember, somebody got their ribs broken in practice with the Bulls in the 90s. Ron Artest, I think, broke a rib of Jordan, or Jordan broke Ron Artest.
It wasn't in practice. It wasn't in practice. It was like in the summer because they weren't on teams. But y'all do remember that. It was actually, I think it actually might have been when Jordan was playing with the Wizards, and he said he was playing ball with them, and he said Jordan would have Jordan was picking up I think it was his last season, and he said Jordan was at that time he said Jordan was averaging like 20 something points, and he said Jordan would have got back to averaging 30, and I heard him, and he was like, and I felt bad because I injured him, and he said Mike was getting back to being Mike, and you're right. And you know what? Let me piggyback that real quick because we're from Chicago. We're Bears fans. We're Bulls fans. And that's one thing I always love to bring up to people about the Bulls in the 90s, because a lot of times you hear guys with these younger players, and just to segue real quick to the NBA, a lot of these younger guys that want to go play with certain teams and do certain things. A lot of those guys that played on that bench behind Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, you don't know them outside of a Bulls uniform. Tell me where Randy Brown played other than the Bulls. Tell me about Jason Caffey outside of the Bulls. You don't know about it. But when you play with guys that are your leaders and that are your best players, and they come to practice every day and they take it seriously, you got to step your game up. And then without even noticing it, when it's game time, you're actually better than the stars on the other team because they don't practice like this. They don't work this hard. And so that's extremely important. So when you have good leadership and things like that, the younger guys pick up on that. And so I'm super excited to have Joe Tooney in the locker room.
Yeah. And also Ben Johnson being tough on him. Hey, let's go. it's not about being kind as a coach.
Right.
It's about you got to you got to create a standard. You can sit back and laugh when you're up by 30.
Right.
It can become a joke
Right.
when you're up by 30.
Right.
I know with the kids that I coach, they picked off the other team on first down. Went back out there, picked them off on first down. I said it real loud so the other sideline could hear it. I said, guys, give them a chance to run a play. So the next series, third series in a row, they picked them off on third down. I said, much better.
Right. That's hilarious.
But it
you
was
know what?
after.
You know what?
Right.
Coaching is everything. Of course, like I said, you got to get out there and do your job. But coaching is everything, man. I remember when I was younger and we used to play ball, and I remember my coach used to say, "Practice doesn't make perfect. A perfect practice makes perfect." And we would have to run laps every day. But he said if we don't have any mistakes during practice, we won't run laps after practice. So we would practice like it was the game. We would practice, and it was that type of an intensity. And I just say all that to say that it's really about bringing that game mentality to your workout. You got to work out like it's time to play, and you got to know that there's no time to take off. So when we would get to the games and win, it was like other teams would celebrate when you win, you get a good win. The coach would be like, "Hey, we practiced for this. Act like you expected. Act like you expected this when you get out there." So I think that's super critical, man. Once again, I'm excited to see what Ben Johnson is going to bring out of these.
I'm excited. Hey, yeah, I had a guy who said same type of sentence. He said, "Practice makes permanent." That was his.
Yeah.
If you practice, that's how it's going to be. Practice makes permanent.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I love the way you guys said it. Perfect practice makes perfection.
Right.
Because it does.
Right.
And if you can't get a perfect practice, don't expect to be perfect in the game.
Absolutely.
It's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
Right. So, well, I think we're on a good direction. I think we're on a good note. I can't wait to see how the rest of the offseason unfolds. It's going to be exciting to watch this team come together and gel. And then to when we start seeing the finished product in August, just 3 months away. Hopefully it looks beautiful. I don't care how many preseason games we win. I just want to see great play on both sides of the ball. And I want to see everybody get out there on the field and play fantastically. We can worry about running up the points in September.
I agree. It's coming.
It's coming. Well, I'm Uncle.
I'm Nephew.
And we're talking Bears. All right, bear down.